The question now that has to be posed is, was that just a weak map for ENCE? Was this just, hey, ENCE is trying to play their permaban a little bit more heading into this year? Well, we're going to have to find out right now as their own map pick of Nuke is coming up, and we're going to be heading into the server for that one as well. Michael, this is going to be an interesting time because we have to keep an eye out for how exactly big will be doing in some of those half-buy situations that we saw them excel in as the pistol round gets underway.
Yeah, being able to start on CT and listen, if your money ever gets into a bad place, given the way this game has been going so far, there's always a way back in for big. So really gonna have to hope that ENCE come in with their best foot forward during that time between the maps, are able to align their focus. Down to vents, Keto will go, and he's quite loud about his presence. Not sure that they were close enough by to have heard it, but jumping around, Madden's going to get hit by high and low ground simultaneously. Sunpius at least trading right back, so Favin's not quite safe, and they're still not sure about where they're headed, but now Keto will confirm. Dihal was low, surviving on 4 HP. That could have been a Keto triple. Instead, this round is still hanging in the balance. Has to be a lot on the shoulders of Sunpius to bring this round back, though.
Yeah, does still have that P250, and listen, if there's one thing we can say about P250s on T side for pistol rounds so far today, they do a lot of work. But that heavy lifting will have to come out from Diha. It seems like Sunpius has got no chances of actually connecting on some of these bullets. Diha, however, still really hoping the CTs are going to make a mistake and get aggressive in an attempt to find information. Sunpius, though, has actually been given a lot of time and space to route around as he is looking for Farben. That's the initial duel he'd missed out on, maybe just double tapping away. But now Farben has taken up a super defensive position. He wants to just try and play out this crossfire. Sunpius does spot out that second man. Diha is down. Farben can just try and re-peek back out over. But Sunpius, clean shot, but only one of them. Crimbo will seal the deal, and Big will prevent a bomb plant as well in the process.
Yeah, a decent setup there for Big to counteract this quick hell aggression that ENCE wanted to implement. Two players trying to scale as quickly as possible, but then they just lost out on too many duels. Great move from Keto as well to dive down those vents. If not for him playing an off angle to secret in the very first round. You know, you maybe expect that on gun rounds or future sort of half buys. But straight in the pistol, it was something that ENCE had to consider, but didn't full clear it, and Keto was sharp on his kills. XM for Keto. And there's only one real place for that. An MM and Pug special. Looks like they are going to burst through ramp, though. Crimbo has to be very aware.
Oh, he's already got some tag damage in, and he drops away before really having anything to say about it. Does not want to contest up against those Tech 9s, and I don't blame him for it. But now, as he repositions and readjusts, he's only good for the once. And Pius, quick smoke back on Deacon, but Favin's the one to find a frag, and now threatened to prevent the bomb from being planted. Hype has a spray down and a spray transfer with the MP9.
Hell yeah, man. That's what you want to see.
What feeding these young guns?
I mean, if they can perfectly transition into their roles, if they can... Honestly, I think the biggest thing about bringing players up from academy rosters is just making sure that they're not scared. You know, it's a step up. It can be sometimes career-changing just how well you do. But I don't think they have any impressions that they could let go of them just because they don't perform. Academy system tailored to success. Hyped. Another kill on this SMG, and he'll continue farming extra cash. That means he should be able to afford an AWP in a round to follow. That's provided they don't lose too much. Sunpius with a couple of kills and making this slightly more expensive than I think they anticipated. Ooh, Diha's D-get distance is nice, but now he has to do it all by his own, and the Dastardly duo are in from the flank. They've already got control of that bomb.
Oh. I mean, the disrespect across the entirety of this this particular round is just a little bit unreal. But hey, that's just how it goes. Gotta say, I have not seen a long distance flank from an XM in a very long time. Just pushing all the way through lobby, coming in from behind the AK on outside. Dio's just thinking, I'm safe, right? Right? No. Diha, you're never safe.
He even had Crimbo save the XM. You know, he dropped it to pick up an AK, but then Crimbo was given the XM. And he gave it right back to Keto afterwards.
I like a man who knows exactly what he wants.
A man of culture, some might say.
Hype not afraid to take this super aggressive angle as well. It's tight on top of it. And as much as we have really been waxing lyrical, Hype does not feel to step up, man. This guy is completely prepared of the challenges presented to him.
Completely transformed from earlier showings. Still a kill in at door. Have to pick up the slack. Keto with the XM will finally get one back, but it's traded as well. A site under siege, and Senpai's finally dealing with Tabson means that they actually have access. Crimbo committed lower and Hyped repositioned in at ramp. They're not all the way through just yet, and still hovering in lobby, and actually going to make contact with that ult, but Valde is too quick on the trigger. Hype wasn't expecting them to be close. They get all these entries A, and they're still not made up their minds. I'm pretty sure Crimbo's confused about where everyone's gone off to. Knows that someone's still lurking around outside, but glass broken on lower should confirm it. Again, they're still not committing with the bomb. ENCE are really toying with this. They're being extra careful they don't fall into a Crimbo trap.
Being extra scared, but that worry, that could be their undoing. Don't forget, fear is the mind killer. The smoke has been missed, and the bomb will be denied. Valde to trade. Valde to trade. Keeps it under control. Quick shout out to something very cool Senpai did on outside, though. He actually made a quick step as he jumped up to fake as if he is trying to jump across the spam. And when Tabson is forced to reload, he's expecting the player to have crossed over. Senpai pops through the dissipating smoke on the side and completely forces Tabson to have to change his crosshair position. And that's why he's able to get that duel so easily. It's a cool little adjustment, man.
Yeah, juking his echolocation.
Oh no, not the 5-7s, not the 5-7s! We know what comes with these, it is death!
They're gonna have nightmares.
I would too, and right now Hype is just hoping to maybe come... Sorry, that's just so comical, man, and just turns around for a second like, oh, wait, there's someone up there too.
Uh-oh.
That's it. Oh no, oh no! Tabson's even going to be able to recover an AK. A chance to come through with another kill, but the grenade's going to provide enough damage to shake him. That is aim. 2-1-2 still. Keto. 2 frags already in the round. Why not add another few? As the bomb is tapped out. Keto. Oh, he's giving up his position. Martin realizes now where he's coming in from. Farvan has to see whether there's a play he can make off the back of that. Little fake out Martin. However... might be thinking that Keto is still positioned up above, and now with the door open, Martin could turn around fast enough. And Valvin just nowhere nearby enough to actually help with that AK. It's within arm distance, or can he extend his arms long enough? Stretch your foot over, Valvin. Stretch it over. Nah.
Same angle for Valde as well to hold those double doors. Loves mounting those railings, and he's like, these are the easiest kills I've ever gotten. If not for that misstep as well from Keto, could have actually caught them off. That extra information went a long way there for ENCE and accounting for the remaining CTs. No nightmares just yet. This time, in their dreams, they fought off the beast. Big R on a full buy to follow up in this round, though. So can't quite count your chickens just yet. ENCE on these 2 rounds trying to equalize with a third. In through the smoke. Valde playing close vent. The spam is decent. Down to 43, but Favin actually punished for his efforts, making a lot of sound, and Martin capitalized off that fact. Already down a man on the A bomb site. Crimbo committed lower so early on. Not sure why he's hesitating around the glass. Are you trying to synchronize with a teammate? No, not even that. He's concerned that someone could have actually dove down those vents, but Valde didn't commit.
In fact, they can't possibly know. Keto. Oh, misses out the timing. Could have been a kill otherwise. Diha, however, does have teammates trying to assist in as... wow. Okay, that's a nice few shots. Diha, every angle, every verticality, and every distance. This man can do it all. Made a lot of his name playing outside on Nuke even earlier on in previous iterations of ENCE, and I have to say he is nothing but impressive.
I mean, he wins a duel against an AWP with a MAC-10. You know, what else? What else do you want from the man?
At range. At range. Let's not forget.
No head armor on Hyped, so even he was a little shook. Tried to aim straight, but his neck wouldn't let him. Alright, just USPs to deal with, really, in this round. P250s are there as well. But a nice banking round here from ENCE would go a long way. Target is 6 or 7 rounds. You know, the T side has been getting strengthened all across the board. I think we're going to see less 10, sort of 11 round halves from CT sides. Didn't stop ENCE against Monty, but again, Monty, a different beast. Well, they can be tamed if you simply stop their sort of hyper-aggressive tendencies.
I believe the term you're looking for is kill Boros, please, someone.
Yeah, and I mean, last time we saw Boros on this map, he didn't do all too well. Pius is going to be greeted by all of the big squad, 4 members over that direction, and Favin and Tabson combined. That's the bomb dropped. Uh-oh, this is trouble now. Martin has to try and keep a handle on this. His teammates are separated.
Please tell me this isn't it. Like, at least before we could have said, oh my god, look at the big brain play. Please tell me this isn't it. Diaz coming in from behind. He's got to be Mr. Cleanup right now. Favin's got Kevlar. And I don't feel comfortable actually pushing through that smoke to retrieve the bomb. I can see why. Deal has, however, forced Favin back and away. Hyped in the meanwhile has been left behind to try and deal with this. And short angle will at least make this slightly easier. Diha is a dead man. And with a Molotov now deployed as well. That bomb has been recovered, but Favin's in position. Favin's in position to stop the bomb from being planted. It's a one-on-one with 15 seconds. Hype knows the time is all set for him, but Martin, in his
doesn't have time
attempt
for
to reposition backwards, doesn't know where to go, doesn't know how to play this, doesn't know where the player's coming in from, wants to take the one-on-one. Now Martin's got the bomb in his hand. Hype is going to take this away from them. A full USB round. There's 2 B250s. That's the only investment. What is going on in the ENCE camp?
I don't know.
Call a timeout. Call a timeout.
It plagues them still in Nuke as well. It just can't be real. This hurts. I mean, that's perfectly played as well from Favin. I mean, instantly repositioned. He was confirmed to be at ramp. So the fact he went for the main play, instead they separated and gave up the bomb. How are you going to read that if you're ENCE? And now, balls to the wall, into the A bomb site. Molotov and spam from Favin will connect. Nobody gets out. No one gets in on the chaos at A. Keto as well, just sitting top hut, wondering, oh, okay, how am I supposed to contribute to this when no one on ENCE has come to meet me? Dropped off of pace. Big into the swing of things.
I'm still shell-shocked. I won't lie to you.
It is a little ridiculous. What, 4? Was it 3 rounds on half buys on Inferno? You know, every major turning point where ENCE are about to take over. Yeah.
I think there might have been one first as well, but not 100% sure for that.
Now it rears its head once again on the ENCE side. Crimbro's in for a nasty surprise. 3 players creeping ramp. Oh my god, they line up for him. It's maybe not a nasty surprise. Instead of a surprise birthday party, give this man a little present with a bow on it. Snappy will try his hand. 25 and making a whole lot of noise in doing so. No one's within earshot, so while he's thunderfooting around, he's actually going to allow himself the sanctuary of an exit. Doesn't want this heat. 1 kill to Snappy's name, now registered by round 8, but no win alongside it.
I really feel like they need a timeout, I'll be honest. Feels like they have not just run into a brick wall, but they have proceeded to bang their head against it again just to make sure it's real or not.
Something's missing. Just whether it's talking through how these rounds are going to play out, accounting for contingencies, like just here's the thing. A lot of teams on their defaults will actually just have somebody be the designated bomb carrier, and usually they're designated to sort of outside control, throwing some utility for cross smokes, something of the sort, or they even just leave it back lobby. You know, that round where they lost to USPs, it was one of the players that contested round. That's the victim.
I mean, it's not just that even. It's the angles that they were holding there.
Yeah.
Right? Like half of the bullets were taken up by the bloody walls.
Yeah, and had they pushed door or hut simultaneously as well, like
Yeah.
those guys would have been just completely crunched. I'm sure ENCE know their mistake as well, but it's something that's gonna bleed into these follow-up rounds. We have to see that adjustment, and if it doesn't happen, then ENCE are in for some trouble.
Horsepower on Snappy's AK. I mean, Deha and Sunpies have been left behind with some cash to work with at the very least, but this is still largely territory that is hard to claim. Slightly surprised that Snappy's the one who's actually still breathing and holding on to it. Great time on the Molotov. They feel like they need to go through, and Tapson will welcome them with open fire. 2 easy kills for Tapson. Players are barely even looking at him before he's finally traded away, but some rifles are covered now for ENCE. A 3-on-4 is not impossible, but you still have to get past Mr. Crimbo himself.
Valde's still lurking outside, and he's got a good timing. Keto's lost sight lines, and the timing is actually beautiful. Valde, it'll take a long time to activate, but Crimbo's on the bomb site. Now to get that plant down, Madden's a dead man walking. Tech from Deha won't find too much, and Valde too detached from the action. Listen, he might have out-timinged Keto, but the rest of the big squad were very quick to address the ENCE B plant.
But you're saying there's a lurking outside, and the bomb plant would be what? You know what? He can lurk. He can have something. It's okay. We're good. We're good with this.
But then why the urgency to plant?
Felt like the smoke was running out. Felt like the play needs to be made. I mean, look, all of this was a little bit haphazard, but fine. It's a worse buy, right? You get a bomb plant. You have a full buy now coming into it. Why does Snappy have a Galil? I'm not entirely sure, but he does. Might have been dropped over to him. Very possible. He didn't have money left over in the previous one. But that won't be the bottleneck. Not right now. Crimbo's so fast to drop back down under. He does not want anything to do with this whatsoever. Flashbang forward as well, and that's just giving Crimbo some more space to peek in. Tapson also wants to swing wider. Does he realize there's a late peek coming in? Snappy activates. It's a bit late to the party, but he is able to take the man down, and Hype has been discovered by the close range angle of Sanpias. Finally looking a lot better. Full ramp control, and with 2 players down under, it's all about what ENCE is going to call, or rather where they're going to call.
You're going to allow Deha to perform this action, get into heaven, and maybe get a flank onto A. At least get confirmation on numbers. Unsure if they made drastic rotations after losing ramp control. As he does, now they can creep up that ladder. They can go for a burst into this A bomb site. Keto taking Sanctuary inside of the hut. And they've got a double setup on B. So this is the right call here for ENCE, just so long as they account for hut pressure. Keto will get Molotov off in an immediate smoke, so confirming presence, but no one else can rear their head out. Big, no handle on this site. ENCE have been able to out-mind game Big in this round, and that does mean that the pressure is on. Retake will be attempted. They have kits, they have a smoke, and they have the flashes to facilitate. They've got great post plants on ENCE.
All about hitting those shots, and Snappy's hit his. Big. Smoking a flashbang is what they've got to work with. The player up top trying to turn away from it. No spray transfer ready. There weren't enough bullets in the chamber, and Keto somehow even found Senpai. He's somehow able to turn around the corner. There's going to be barely enough time. Keto has a defuse.
Oh my days. I didn't think it was going to be possible. You know, they actually bleed up a lot of time. You know, I'm saying they have all this utility, and it works out for them in spades. But taking that challenge so wide where you cannot retreat to Tetris, you have no support from your upper players that are supposed to be almost enabled to get free frags. Sure, trades come in, but you saw how wide Senpais had to go to try and capitalize because that bomb was so low. The only way they win is off of that defuse, and it came down to the wire. Hard situation to play out, that's for sure. Martin will kick off the affair, and oh, Cole with a knife out. The AWP will not connect, but Hype a second swing at it. Man advantage here held for Big, only momentarily. tabseN now collecting on a double kill outside, and Diha's really scratching his head. Has had a monstrous performance so far in day 2. Again, I'll reiterate, 25 apiece on every single map in the Monty series, and he certainly stepped up to the plate as well on Inferno in spite of their loss. But this ENCE, I mean, their map pick in the series, it just feels disconnected in places, and Big are making some great adaptations to address everything that ENCE have planned in the early stages of that round. I mean, such heavy outside pressure when ENCE have the idea of going there themselves. We saw that in a round prior as well, where tabseN got on top of the secret steps. There was that Molotov that was thrown, and it just teased him up. It feels like Big's timings and executions in these rounds are almost tailored to what ENCE have to present to the table. It's kind of mad that it's gone, and the jigsaw piece hits so perfectly for this Big squad so far.
And this is... Michael, it just feels like ENCE has mentally just combusted a little bit after all of those anti-ecos, after everything has gone wrong. And look, these rounds are getting closer. They are getting closer. They are finding some timings. They are finding some plays they can make. But how long is it going to take to get it right? There isn't time.
Round of urgency. Some Tech-9s, and they jump through smokes. Ooh, good first kill, and the trade's there. They dive down towards that B bomb site, but in hot pursuit is faveN, and he's gotten that secondary kill as well. maden's boxed in, and he has to try and take this duel, but also, bomb has to go down. Spam won't connect, but faveN will collect. Knows that maden has to be close by, and, well, that was the only hope they had.
Listen, all I'm going to say is Big must really like Brazil.
I just can't believe faveN chased after them as well.
Yeah.
When he knows that
Tech-9s.
there's Texan, yeah, and the sword. I mean, sure, they have to go down to B and get that bomb planted. You know, there's usually one player that can at least stop it. But the one player that was in the vents to stop faveN from chasing them, basically the deterrent, didn't get anything for his troubles. Bigger in form.
Oh, freebie coming out for tabseN. He's been so good on outside as well. faveN already seen what menace he can be. Oh, he's just jumping down. He's got an addiction to dropping. This man just drops down, takes steals, takes fights, and he wins them.
I just
Snoop Dogg would be proud.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, how does he get away with that? I don't know how many timeouts you need to call, but yeah, I would too. I would too, ENCE. This is scary. Here's the thing, you know, we made this comparison earlier on, talking about how ENCE lost to complexity at IEM Katowice. That's one Intel Extreme Masters event where they wanted to make it to the next stage. They wanted to make it to the group stage like Big did. Complexity have undergone changes themselves around the same timing that ENCE did, maybe a month apart. Sure, there's 2 pieces to replace on ENCE, but they have had time. They've actually competed with their full 5 roster. They've had that amount of time, 6 months, to make sure that everything aligns, while Big, on their international ventures, have always, almost always, had to play with stand-in after stand-in, whether it's faveN, whether it's searson, stepping away, and those are critical components as well for the Big side.
Yeah.
And they are looking so good with a new 5th.
Like, I'm convinced that Big's been lying to us all this time. They've just been changing player names so that the enemy team's like, oh, maybe it's going to be an easier. It's all mind games and mind games.
Yeah, hyped wearing a searson mask.
Yeah. I'm telling you, faveN's actually tabseN. tabseN's actually got B.
The plot twist of the century, if true. Listen, man, faveN's a man unchained. 2 kills again, and finally hunted down by the Tech-9. Thank goodness they get something back, but Diha finds that AWP the hard way. maden can at least get that bomb planted. He actually gets his hands on the AWP because of his low HP. Okay, well, this is certainly a mind game, but makes a lot of noise.
not quite sure who he's playing mind games with at this point. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel like Big have any doubts about their play, about their ability to speak into him. And, well, Martin, as he drops down, pulls out the bomb. That's exactly when Hype will find the timing as well. 11-3. ENCE's map pick. And, look, man, I asked for Madman Favin. I'm getting Madman Favin.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? You know, 1 star replaced, and it feels like we get older versions of what Favin used to be. Rearing its head, hyped once again, very quick on that singular peak. Diha, at least happy that that box has tanked some of the damage. Could have been another opener that they would regret giving up. Molotov will sail a little too far. Snappy's safe.
Has spotted him out though earlier on. Keto down, Snappy. Maybe the call wasn't given up by Tapson. Favin look completely caught off guard. Crimbo does get the double, keeps himself alive for 3. Crimbo's playing the perfect round player simulator right now. Gets him on rotates, gets him when they come into his area as well. And Tabson, well, I'd have talked about how good D-Hell was, but now it's all about Sunbias. 1-on-2 to attempt the clutch. The last chance to claw together 4. The last chance to make a grandstand and ends. Oh, Sunbias feels like he's just being locked in, but maybe still a chance to turn around. No. Crimbo prevents it of 4K to finish out the half, and ENCE will not find 4 of their own. 12-3. We're off to a break, and ENCE sure as hell needs one. If someone had told me the distance between Brazil and Germany compared to Brazil and Finland seemed to be leagues thousands of miles apart. I wouldn't have believed them. Right now, I do. ENCE, they're not even knocking on the door. They are begging to be let in. Somehow, let us back into this game. But 3-12 down to start the second half. This will be a tall, tall order.
Yeah, not a guarantee that either of these teams make it to IEM Brazil, but they will have a certain swing at it. And Hyped is motivated. Valde already taken out of the equation, and they are getting some nice space over to the garage. Keto's lying in wait, and Sampaius will oblige with a swing. Things are going from bad to worse. 5-on-3, and only 3 rounds that ENCE can look at and stare at. Wonder how they got here. Diha doing great to actually call back the numbers. 2 kills collected, and Keto does punish Snappy on the reswing. In fact, will find a second as well. 3 kills so far from Keto, and Martin's dualies have to get all 3, and he's not going to be allowed to do so. They swing together and manage the damage. A 13th round for Big, a second half pistol round all alongside it. What little hope you had of ENCE making a comeback in this second half at the very start of it in tatters.
Keto was the one player who hadn't touched double digits so far. Boosts himself up to 11 from a pistol round, no less. Can't hope but pray that ENCE can maybe get the 4 spies going their way, the way that Big has so far. The prayers are very seldom answered for the ENCE side right now. Valde. That'd be an angle to walk off over the jumping Mac-10s have spotted them out. Tabson makes short work of them once again. Perfect flashbangs. Making sure there's no one coming in from the sides, from the flanks. Nothing of the sort will be allowed whatsoever.
Yeah, of all the teams we've seen so far in the IEM Brazil close qualifiers, I mean, Big have had the best executions. They look the most well-rehearsed for all the scaling with the flashes and utility. No team has come close, I think, just in terms of how smooth everything looks for the entries. Those hopes of Brazil for ENCE, well, they probably dissipated long ago. That first half was brutal to watch. Every chance that they had to build more rounds was met with resistance. How deep can you dig through the morale, through all of the BS? You know, Favin got away with some disgusting plays. Can you reset and actually have a flawless CT performance? We need to see it. Tabson will punish Martin's over-aggression through hut. There was another player not too far away, but Valde didn't drop to the floor with him. Sits on top of the hut, and this could just be another fast A play. They've still got the Mac-10s.
And Bias is just hoping and wondering whether he can just get a quick wallbang in. Shot to the head, maybe, just maybe. That gives them the pump they need. They are slowing this down to oblivion. They're not using a single piece of utility either. Now when the hit's going to come through, they're going to have everything they need. Molotov, flashes, the works. Valde caught out, Sun Bias next to fall. And at this point, ENCE can't even think about saving that Deagle. Diha thought maybe a kill to be found, thought some solace, thought some scoreboard salvation. But no. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I just don't know what to say. Big just looks so clean. Didn't go on a faster timing, instead waited to collect themselves and burst onto the scene. And ENCE, yeah, getting nothing for their troubles. Snappy might be able to weasel himself away into the next round, but what a save. MP9 not even going to be allowed. Too much damage will be taken by the bomb, and, well, Favin just collected on the kill instead. I'm not hoping, I'm not praying on 12 straight from ENCE. They haven't looked as good as Big have in this series. Oh god, are they letting them fester and
I-
stew on this?
Vig's calling the BM timeout. The BM timeout.
I sometimes, you know, I'd heard some casters talk about this before, and I wasn't fully convinced, but I remember having an interview with Adam from Once Upon a Time Into the Breach, and he said that he did call these types of timeouts just so if the opponents made a major mistake, you know, it helps your team reset as well and think, okay, that's not how every round is going to be, but also lets them fester and stew on that. Becomes the rot that finally destroys you from the inside.
In all fairness, I feel like the correct time to call it then would have been after the USB round.
Yeah, maybe. But
Yeah.
now they've got some safety. They've at least guaranteed overtime. If things do go wrong, and rather quickly here for Big, there's still more rounds to play. ENCE need 12 straight.
Captain leads the charge forward. Easy frags, easy pickings. This is ENCE falling down and falling over. At this point, Big isn't just winning the round, they're performing a mercy killing. Snappy and Senpai is slow to receive, but will get it in the end nonetheless. Snappy caught out, but he only gets one kill. 16-3 on ENCE's map, Big. 16-3 with a player who has just been introduced. 16-3 with a core that's been rotating players back and forth for the entirety of the previous year, not able to settle into one position. Big really wants to go to Brazil.
Yeah, and they'll have a chance at it. They have beaten past the lower finals. It's a departure for ENCE, and not in the way that I think we would